I've been running this world without you. But knowing that all, one way to fall, living this nightmare all through. What's new? I'm making without you. But knowing that all, one way to fall, living this nightmare all through. What's new? I'm making without you. I'm making without you.
It has been 21 days since we've had IndyCar racing here on ESBN, and we could not be more thrilled to be here at Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California, bringing you the debut race for Sim Racer's Edge. Hello, everybody. My name is Frank Marchese. Thank you very much for joining us here on ESPN this evening. And with me in the booth, as always on Wednesday nights, is my broadcast partner, Tony Trapasso. And Tony, it's been, some would say it's been a while coming, but we are finally here, the debut of Sim Racer's Edge.
I have been looking forward to this for 21 straight days. Just the turnout that we're seeing tonight, too. Apparently the racers have been looking forward to this as well. 32 cars in the sim tonight. We've got some of the Black Bumper Brigade with us. And for those of you who are iRacing faithful, know exactly what that means.
Yeah, there's a lot of big names that are going to be here tonight, and a lot of names from days gone by. A lot of names you're going to remember from just 21 days ago, but from days, like I said, from days gone by, there are a lot of returns here. Sim Racer's Edge has drawn a huge crowd, has drawn a lot of interest, and we are so fortunate to be here for it.
Very much so. Going through the entry list, it's a who's who of, we're getting the band back together is how I'm kind of looking at this right now. Just a lot of names that just bring back a ton of memories. And, it's good to see them out on track again, competing with each other.
Yeah, without a doubt, as we have a couple of guys on track right now. We join you in qualifying right now, so we have 5 minutes and 35 seconds left here in the qualifying session. There you see Raul Alvarez on the track in that number 9. Alvarez has yet to post a time. He is about to set his first flying lap here. And Alvarez, last time we saw him, had a pretty decent run at Charlotte, looking to keep that momentum here with this fresh start.
Yeah, he had a top 10 last time we had IndyCars here on ESBN. Just took the green to start his first flyer, so going to be fun to see how that one works out. Not a big shocker who all is sitting in the top 10 right now, though. Chris Walker sitting atop the pile with a 32.52, right on his heels, just 6/1000ths of a second back, which at the speeds these guys are traveling is the distance from the tip of the car to the start of the front wing, is Brett Beasley in the 69. So, these guys are getting after it because everybody wants to say they won the first Sim Racer's Edge race.
We're looking at Paul Crumry now exiting pit road. Raul Alvarez went up to P18. Just about to finish his second lap, and does right there. He will
Not improve.
He will not improve his time. Just 1/1000th of a second off of Charles Woods, currently in the 17th position, as we'll now follow Paul Crumry as he comes down into turn number 1. Through 2, hugging that bottom. And here's one of the things about Fontana and about Auto Club Speedway is this is a very, very wide track. And it's not just the bottom where you can get a great run here. You can certainly get a fantastic run on that top side as he's taken it all the way down to the line there. And Crumry will put in
11th quick.
Yep, P11. Paul Crumry will throw up the current lap time for him in the number 3.
And these guys are doing single lap qualifying, by the way.
Yeah, and that does play a factor, especially for guys like me personally that aren't all that great on cold tires. This could be a big time hindrance.
Very much so. I mean, you got to really, know what this car is going to do on cold tires with a full boat of fuel. And as the 17 of Yari Berpatcher is out on track right now, he's doing it right. He's up on that wall. The only thing is, I don't think he knows that there's only one lap. Well, now he brings it down to the yellow line. So, you've really got to wring this thing out from the exit of turn 2 until you take the green flag and get as much out of it on that outlap as you possibly can.
I do apologize here. I'm having a little bit of a camera issue at the moment. Camera's not playing nice. There we go. Now we got it back. I do apologize for showing that little blip on the screen there.
And Yari jumps up to 14th.
Yep, that was the... Right there, that was the lap, the 32.698 for Yari Berpatcher in the number 17. So we have just about a minute and a half left in qualifying. Chris Voiles and Jeff Hollingsworth are just sitting at the end of pit road here.
Voiles just 19th quick.
Oh, well, that's the last time I checked on him. He was sitting on pit road. So Voiles sets a time of 32.821. And now we'll see. Yep, there's Hollingsworth. Still not making a liar out of me. So we only have Timothy Bates, Dylan Moskowitz, Jeff Hollingsworth, and Michael Jeans, the guys that have not put in a time. 32 drivers set here to make this debut and to make it as good as it could possibly be. Like I said at the top of the show, this really brought out a lot of interest from guys all over the place.
Oh, very much so. I mean, you talk about names that we have seen win in IndyCars here on ESBN. Jeff Hollingsworth has won. Michael Jeans has won. Tim Bates has won. Mike Sturgill has almost won. But he's been a bridesmaid quite a few times and run up front a lot. We have seen Chris Voiles win. We have seen Jeff Wubker run up front a ton. Let's talk about the elephant in the room here. Making his return to IndyCars, and he said he hasn't driven the IndyCars in the second of forever. The number 14 of Garrett Maines is here tonight.
And Garrett Maines is without a doubt a big name. As you were talking about, you had mentioned the Black Bumper Brigade at the top of the broadcast. That would reference to the fact that Maines is going for his pro license in iRacing here, not that far from now. So we wish him the best of luck in that for sure. But that is huge to have a big name like Garrett Maines in here just running around with the guys.
And the thing is, they weren't able to make it tonight, but there's a few more names that are going to be sprinkled in through the rest of the season. You're not going to want to miss the action as the series moves forward with the rest of the schedule, because I happen to have heard from a little birdie some other real-world professional names that have already said that they will be joining us for at least a race or two.
And that is without a doubt welcoming. But instead of talking about people that aren't here, let's take a look at the guys who are here and how they will line up here this evening for the first race of Sim Racers Edge. Chris Walker and Brett Beasley will start on the first row. Kieran Bergelli and Nate Siefker will lock out row two. Ernie Ludwig and Butch Davis, row 3. Ronnie Osmer and Jeffrey Roulette will make up row number 4. Mark Walker and Chris Simard round out the top 10 and row 5. Row 6 will be Paul Crumry and Dan Brazington. Row 7 will be Garrett Maines and Yari Bropatcher. Jeff Wubker and Carl Burke making out row number 8. Tony.
Row number 9 is going to go to Bob Lockevar, making his return to IndyCar racing. He's going to be joined with Mark McFadden. Chris Boyles and Charles Woods are going to make up row number 10, with row 11 going to Raul Alvarez and Joe Morganti, making his return to Wednesday night IndyCar racing. Kevin O'Brien and Tony Phillips make up row number 12, with row 13 going to Mike Sturgill and Johnny Antonucci. Jeff Bogan and Luis Nunez are going to make up row number 14, with row 15. Jeff Hollingsworth and Michael Gleason did not post times. Dylan Moskowitz and Tim Bates starting shotgun on the field tonight. So, 31 cars in action.
31 cars in action. It is going to be an absolutely fantastic, fantastic race as we get set to go here from Auto Club. 150 laps to go to run here tonight. And Tony, you've been doing Sunday night Indy cars for a lot longer than I have. I will give you the honor of bringing them down for the first time.
As the pace car makes its hard left turn, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sim Racers Edge. Chris Walker got a great jump as Beasley working the outside of Kieran Bergelli right now. And Ernie Ludwig making his presence felt as that inside line starts.
Let me know when I'm live. We do apologize for the technical difficulties. I am beyond embarrassed, and I do apologize for that. We are working lap 7, about to start lap 7 here at Auto Club as Chris Walker still continues to lead the way. Brett Beasley, and look at Garrett Maines is right up there as well. He's got Ernie Ludwig right behind him, and to the outside just following is that number 55 of Ronnie Osmer as well, Tony.
Yeah, Osmer, usually wants to run up front, but with as packed as this field is, he's going to have to bide his time. So we've got currently in the field an iRacing Pro driver and an ARCA driver. And I happen to know that there's some more coming. But how about Chris Walker right now? Has led every lap of this piece so far as we've got 7 in the book.
Yeah, Garrett Maines is working that outside lane. You can see him in that bright, that powder blue Fanatec machine there, the number 14, third car on the inside lane, has moved his way up from the 13th starting position up to 4th. And as you mentioned, while we were trying to figure out our technical issues, Tony, you said that did not take him long at all.
Absolutely not. Was not happy with his qualifying run, but, has gotten it sorted out. And I'm just trying to take a look at something right now, and okay, that doesn't say what I thought it said. Sorry, I was trying to figure out what was on the side of Ronnie Osmer's car. It looked very similar to a car that another driver who is going to be inbound later this season ran in the Indy 500. Oops, did I let that slip? But no, it doesn't actually. It's not actually that. And here comes Hollingsworth. Good grief!
Yeah, Hollingsworth starting in 29th after not putting in a qualifying lap has been on an absolute flyer in that number 97, has put that car up into 4th position. And I'll tell you what, he's usually, when we run these things, he's usually number 1 in iRating. He's not happy being number 2 here tonight.
No, and he's not, but this is turning into quite a slugfest at the front of this field right now. If Chris Walker was looking in his rearview mirrors, which I hope he's not, I hope he's paying attention to what's in front of him, as they're 4 wide almost. Good Lord.
That's what I was mentioning during the practice session, was that these cars, that this track is incredibly wide. So you can get away with this type of racing as Hollingsworth ducks to the inside line and then pokes it right back out. He is on Brett Beasley for second, and as a matter of fact, he takes it. And I really don't think that Chris Walker is going to have much of a say as to what happens when that 97 gets to his outside.
Probably not. But the thing I do want to point out, ladies and gentlemen, this is a fixed setup league. But with the iRacing IndyCars, you still have in-car adjustments. You can play with your track bar and your weight jackers while in the car, so you can better tune it to your particular liking. But everybody's running the same shocks, the same springs, the same gears, the same basic peripherals that you would find on a car, but there's little tiny tweaks that you can make to get the car tuned to your liking.
And Hollingsworth has certainly found it. Another guy who has seemed to have found it is Paul Crumry. He's in that 3 on the inside lane, now switches to the middle. He's been moving his way up. He started in the 11th position. Now has Ronnie Osmer going to his outside. And boy, oh boy, look at Garrett Maines go up to the outside lane. He's going to take the widest way around, or appeared as though he would. Trying to make it 3 wide for the lead.
Well, it was more Garrett Maines had a heck of a run on Jeff Hollingsworth, and he went up there to not clobber the 97 going into turn number 3. I'm surprised we haven't had that 5-letter word that nobody wants to see. As they're 5 wide.
They wanted to put on a show here today, and they certainly have. As we're 3 wide for second place. Ronnie Osmer, Hollingsworth, and Garrett Maines. Osmer falls to the back a little bit in the middle of the field. Right around that Carl Burke range, we're 3 wide, side by side. This is the kind of racing and the kind of action that a wide racetrack like Autocorp Speedway can bring. And when you have guys that know how to do it, you get a show like this.
And this is, I got a hats off to the entire competition committee for the Sim Racers Edge. They picked an amazing location, the perfect choice for the first race.
Somebody's in the wall. That's the 9. Oh,
we stay green,
though. That was not the 9. Somebody had an issue.
I missed it myself, and I'm actually zoomed right out too. But these guys picked the perfect location to premiere this league because this track gives you this type of racing.
It's been absolutely incredible all throughout this field. Another guy who we were talking about not setting a qualifying time, Timothy Bates, has started in the 31st position. He's up to 13th as they're 4 wide for the race lead.
Yeah, Siefker thought better of that one, as that's him in that Bumblebee-looking car that's following Ronnie Osmer right now, as Osmer tries to make it 3 wide on Garrett Maines going into 3.
this field. Another
It's been
guy
non-stop action here at Fontana, and it really makes you wonder why. When you see a show like this, oh my goodness, they're getting close.
position. He makes you wonder why they want to change this place into a short track. It really does.
Because full fender stock cars.
Oh, it's Hollingsworth getting into the side of Maines.
A little bit of contact. Everybody stays green as this is wild. This is just completely wild.
There's so much to talk about. There's really nothing you can say. They're 3 wide for 5th behind the front 4. No one has been able to wrestle this lead away from Chris Walker so far, and we're working lap 20 of this race.
Well, the thing is, Walker's doing the right thing. He's pecting that inside.
Oh, there's a car in the wall.
There it is.
Car the fence hard. It was Chris Voiles.
Yes, it was not how he wanted his opening race to pan out. The good news is these guys do have one fast repair, so he can have that team pull the backup car immediately off the trailer and get right back out. But
from the look of that incident, it looked as though he had caught the apron. Oh yeah, he certainly did. Put those left sides on the apron, just sent his car into a wiggle, and right up the track and into the catch fence he went. He most likely will lose a lap because he has had to tow that car back to the pit lane. So there's a tow timer he has to wait out, and then the pit stop. Speaking of pit stops, unlimited tire sets in these races, and the fuel limit, you're only allowed to fill the tank up to 81% capacity. So that right there is some built-in strategy.
right, and the thing is, with the 81%, you're looking roughly 35-ish laps under green flag.
All right, so while we're taking the pit stops here, we will take a quick break and be right back. You're watching Sim Racer's Edge right here on ESBN. We are back here on Sim Racers for the Sim Racers Edge season opener here at Auto Club Speedway from Fontana, California. You just saw the pit stops as they cycled out. A couple of guys choosing not to pit, just the front 2, Ernie Ludwig and Yari Brupatcher deciding not to pit. That will take the lead away from Chris Walker, but Tony, not only does he lose the lead, he's going to lose some track positions. There was a good amount of guys that got out in front of him.
Well, Walker, unfortunately, overshot his pit stall and had to back up. So he went from first to seventh. And we're going to see the battle that I've been looking forward to, as Garrett Maines and Jeff Hollingsworth are going to start next to each other on this restart. But Ernie Ludwig and staying out to get that all-important bonus point for leading the lap. And I stand corrected. We are doing single-file restarts.
Yeah, I kind of figured that's the way we were doing it, but I wasn't quite sure. So single-file restarts, as the pace car should be ducking off this time, and he is. Tony, what type of pace car is that?
That is the Ford Mustang GT500, the official pace car of iRacing.
There you go. So coming off of turn 4, Ernie Ludwig will lead the field away. He gets a great jump. Rob Patcher is right there as well. And we are back racing here at Auto Club Speedway, and already Maines is looking for position. That is the 9 of Raul Alvarez to his outside. Raul Alvarez 1 lap down, currently running in the 29th position.
Yeah, Raul decided to pit just before that caution came out, did lose a lap, and unfortunately did not get any waiver rounds because 2 cars stayed out in front of him.
So Ernie Ludwig led the field to the green, but coming back to it, it'll be Jari Brupatcher who will lead that lap, the first green flag lap, first full green flag lap, not led by Chris Walker. So in a couple of years when we're doing trivia questions for this, write that answer down, because I'm sure that'll be one. As here comes Garrett Maines right to the point, and he has left Jeff Hollingsworth behind, which, as I say it, here he comes into the picture on that high lane.
And that's what the difference of new tires can do. We saw Maines with a head of steam, and he just kept it down on that low line, whereas Brupatcher and Ludwig kind of had to... You don't see them down quite as low as Maines is able to put one. As I say that, Brupatcher's going to make a liar out of me and fight back on the outside.
I was going to say, he's not letting that position go. Is Brupatcher in the 17? He finally does concede the position.
Good grief.
However, yeah, these guys are really taking to it here as they head down into turn 1. And there you go, Tony. There's your battle. Maines versus Hollingsworth right to the lead.
Before the lead, and Hollingsworth for a second there had some drafting help going down the back straightaway here. They haul it off 3 wide into turn number 3.
And that's still Jari Brupatcher hanging it out there. Remember, he does not come in. He is on the same tires he started the race on. Maybe it could be. We know how weight sensitive these cars are. Could it just be the lighter fuel load that's keeping him up here?
I'm thinking that's the only thing that's keeping him up there right now, because with 28 laps of the tires, I guarantee you all of the goodie is off of them.
He just swung from the outside to the inside. Ludwig is on the outside of a 3 wide situation as he now finally falls clear. That was Brett Beasley and Ronnie Osmer passing him side by side for the lead. 4 1/1000ths of a second in it. Give it to Garrett Maines, who is on the inside in the race lead. Ronnie Osmer looking on that outside lane on Jeff Hollingsworth, now slots in line behind him. And Hollingsworth right back to the outside. Got that draft going into 3. He's going to try to take it, and still unwilling to go away. Jari Brupatcher to the wide outside.
And I would like to point out that your top 6, throw a blanket over them, and the lap car of Raul Alvarez, you've got over a 1.5 second gap back to 7th place of Nate Seifert, who's slugging it out with Chris Walker right now.
He's got Butch Davis right behind him as well in the 43. That is a battle for 7th position here at the start of this second group. Now you would have to assume within the next couple of laps that will be a battle for the 5th position. As again, Brupatcher and Ludwig yet to pit in this race, as down to the apron up at the front goes Ronnie Osmer. He's trying his absolute best
to find any way around the front pair, but it's still Maines and Hollingsworth leading the way as they head down the back.
Well, you got Jeff Hollingsworth, who is, the seasoned veteran here. It's hard to shake a member of the United States Coast Guard, and Jeff Hollingsworth. They call him the Iceman for a reason. The man has ice water in his veins. You're not going to shake Jeff Hollingsworth, or get him shook, I should say. As Beasley and Osmer were slugging it out there for a second, and just like that, the 2-second lead is now gone.
Walker and Siefker have now caught up to this group as Ernie Ludwig is getting caught by the pack, going fairly slowly as Ludwig, and he is actually might have gone around, as I think, he was trying to get down to pit road. Was the 26 of Ernie Ludwig, and he now no longer has an engine cover on his car. He got run over. Oh, wow. He might have been out of fuel with how slow he was going through third.
I dare say he was. If we can get the guys in the production truck, I was able to get a helmet cam on Ernie Ludwig's helmet before they fired off these cars tonight. If we could maybe listen inside Ludwig's car.
I'm not hearing much of anything.
Yeah, that's out of fuel.
And Mark Walker was one that really keyed that wreck off, trying to avoid Ludwig on the inside, slinging it all the way to the outside lane. Jeffrey Roulette was in the orange car that got it. Kieran Borelli was also in the wall slightly. So that incident really centered around 4 guys. As Ronnie Osmer the connection issues. Ronnie Osmer was in the lead for a second there with the lag issues. It is still Garrett Maines.
No.
Who has the lead. Yep, they're back now.
Garrett went pit side.
Oh, hasn't done.
Ronnie Osmer stayed out, and Nate Seifert stayed out.
I was still in replay, that's why. So, Osmer and Seifert stay out now that I know what's going on. So again, honestly, you would look at a decision like that for Osmer and Seifert and say, not really the smartest of moves, but we just saw Ludwig and Brupatcher hanging out up there just as quick as the leaders. That may not be a bad call, and it might be a very good strategy play come the end of this race.
And definitely from a point standing viewpoint, Ronnie Osmer knows what he's doing as far as, racing for points. You get that bonus point for leading a lap, and, nobody can take it away from you.
As just to update you guys on towards the back of the field, Michael Jeans and Bob Lacavara. Lacavara set a qualifying time, qualified in the 17th position. He did not make the start of the race. Michael Jeans only set a practice time. He did not set a qualifying time and did not make the start of the race either. And Chris Voiles in the 7, who we saw flipping in the catch fence for the first caution, he has just called it an evening. So the back 3 in the line are DNFs for tonight.
Yeah, that was a rough one for Voiles. He was running top 20 at the time, but there's a lot that can happen as the lights are out on the Ford Mustang pace car.
So it will be Ronnie Osmer and Nate Seifker leading the way. Michael Sturgill, Jeff Wubker, Butch Davis, who I believe did not come in either.
Correct.
That is your top 5. Garrett Maines, the first car on fresh tires, is back in the 6th position. Then it is Brett Beasley, Jeff Hollingsworth, Chris Walker, and Carl Burke rounding out the top 10. As the safety car makes his way through turn 3, we are 35 laps down. We will take the green starting lap 36 of 150 laps. Pace car is off. Osmer holding them down. Now he takes off, and we are back to racing here at Auto Club Speedway.
I got to think that Osmer may have gotten too good of a jump because by the time he gets to the middle of the back straightaway, Siefker is going to have a head of steam and the draft. Osmer may have snookered himself.
And at a track like this, as you can see, that exact thing playing out as there goes Siefker to the outside lane, and then as Michael Sturgill on the inside lane right behind Ronnie Osmer. On a track like this, it is very much like Daytona or Talladega with these cars. You cannot get out too far ahead of the pack. Otherwise, the draft is going to suck you up. However, unlike Daytona and Talladega, these turns are a lot flatter and a lot tighter that will help you try to maintain your position.
Absolutely, as these guys are definitely not wanting to sit back and relax, even though we are only working lap 37, getting ready to start lap 38 of 150. Give that one to Nate Siefker as Osmer trying to hang tough on the high side, but he's got Butch Davis in between him and I'm sorry, that's Ronnie Osmer showing the way. Butch Davis and Mike Sturgill were slugging it out on the high side there as Siefker, where did Siefker go?
Siefker is at the back of this pack in that yellow car there, just up to the outside lane. Now just tacking himself onto the back of this group is the last car in the top 10, Carl Burke.
And look who's battling for the lead.
Yep, so there is the entirety of the top 10 right there in your screen. And then about a 2-second break to Mark McFadden in the 11th position, currently trying to fight off Jeffrey Roulette, who is on the outside lane. Kieran Bergelli is in this battle as well, as now Roulette leads this second group.
And meanwhile, at the front of the field, here come the Fresh Tire Brigade with Garrett Maines, Jeff Hollingsworth, and Brett Beasley working that center line, or second lane, I should say. And this is getting interesting. Yeah, that was my thoughts exactly. Just 3 wide again.
That got really close as Garrett Maines swung down to the inside. That's Michael Sturgill, the second car on the inside lane. They're wrecking in turn 4 in the back. And that will bring out caution number 3.
And that's going to be the night for Ernie Ludwig.
Yes, it is. Oh, just a little tap in the rear corner. Somebody, I could not tell, unfortunately, who that was. Somebody ramped off the front end of Ernie Ludwig's car. That would have been, I believe, that's Charles Woods.
Yes, it was.
In the 40 who ramped off. And then Joe Morganti.
Nowhere to go, catches a race car to the face.
Oh, and he ended up colliding and flipping over Jeffrey Bogan. So another...
Morganti's not the one that went airborne. That was Bogan that went airborne.
Yes, that was Bogan that went airborne.
Ouch.
So that will put at least a crinkle in their nights. Won't put an end to it, but it'll certainly put a crinkle in it. As right after that last caution, Mark Walker has received a throughput, and he is no longer taking part in the race right now. He can rejoin if he gets his internet sorted. So just looking at guys that were involved in that wreck, Joe Morganti in the 00, Charles Woods in the 40, Ernie Ludwig in the 26, Jeffrey Bogan in the 28. Those were the guys that were involved in that accident that brought out the third caution of the race.
Wow. I just went back and looked at that again. Good grief.
Yeah, that was a mighty big one. We've seen that was really the first
Thank
big
God it's
wreck.
a simulator moment.
Yeah, that was the first really big wreck we've seen in this race, and that starts with Tony Phillips just barely clipping the inside of the left rear corner of Ernie Ludwig. And again, Ludwig, who's already taken a fast repair, so his night is effectively done. Still towing is Ludwig in the pits. Joe Morganti is finished towing. He has gotten his new car.
So is Charles Woods.
Yep, Charles Woods as well.
And it looks like Tony Phillips has already gotten the new wing put on the 32.
And getting a new wing on it, it's worth noting for people who don't know or are new to iRacing or new to these broadcasts, putting a new wing on the car does not constitute a fast repair. A fast repair is for something a lot more significant, such as damaged suspension, broken rear wing, what we saw earlier with Ernie Ludwig where his engine cover came off. So that's not, so just a broken front wing, as you would see in real life, not necessarily a fast repair situation.
No, it adds a couple of seconds to the pit stop as the field works its way down the back straightaway. The lights are out on the Ford Mustang GT 500 pace car, the official pace car of iRacing. And the question now is, what does Ronnie Osmer have for everybody that's behind him with fresher tires?
Would have to assume he's going to go a little bit early here just to get a little tiny bit of a jump. As you see, that's Jeff Hollingsworth. Hollingsworth is missing a front wing. Down on the inside line there, that is Jeff Hollingsworth heading into the pit lane as we restart, and I wonder what happened to Hollingsworth.
Let me go
Yeah,
investigate this.
as the field heads through turn number 1 on the back straightaway. Garrett Maines right behind Ronnie Osmer.
There was a minor connection issue, and things happened.
Yeah, that'll do it as Maines goes right for the lead on that outside lane. And much the same way as you would at Daytona or Talladega, it is your inside line is your best friend. And there goes the lead pack around Jeff Hollingsworth. That will put Hollingsworth, the first car, not on the lead lap, running in the 23rd position. But we know the speed he has, and now he's got better tires and more fuel. I'm sure if he catches a caution right now, he will be just fine.
Absolutely, and this just in, Ernie Ludwig and Joe Morganti have both put it on the hauler for the night.
Yep, that is expected from Ludwig, and I'm not sure about Morganti if
he got caught up on
with something else. Oh, he was in there as well.
Yeah.
As we are 2 by 2 for the first couple of rows here for the race lead. Still Ronnie Osmer leading the line on the inside lane. Garrett Maines on the outside. That is Michael Sturgill, the second car on the inside lane, followed by Brett Beasley. Butch Davis is up there. Oh, wow, what a wiggle from Jeffrey Roulette. Takes him right to the middle of the track. And fortunate to keep it off of Kieran Bergelli.
And Bergelli, those of you who are familiar with Wednesday night IndyCar broadcast here on ESBN. Bergelli's one of the bad luck kids. He usually gets caught up in a dumpster fire that a lot of times it's not his fault. And, it's good to see him running in the top 10 right now.
We've seen that without a doubt, as still unable to peel Ronnie Osmer off that bottom lane. As another guy we haven't talked about much here in the top 10, Timothy Bates, running in that 10th position, running that familiar green and purple machine, the number 6. Hanging tough in 10th place right now, just outside of Chris Walker, who was the pole sitter and led a vast majority of the first half of this race.
Very much so, as Walker seems to be struggling right now in traffic. Now, I'm not sure if it's the in-car adjustments that he's done that aren't giving him the handling that he wants, or if it's just the fact that he's got so many fast guys around him right now. But Walker's a cagey veteran as well, so look for him to keep a steady march forward here.
Without a doubt, as you're seeing this front pack here is the front pack of 12 cars. At the back of it is Nate Siefker. You have to go back another 3.5 seconds to find the lead of the second group, and that is between Chris Simard and Dylan Moskowitz for the 13th position, as Simard on the outside trying to get around that Napa Dallara a la Alexander Rossi of Dylan Moskowitz.
And here comes Brazington to the inside as well. No, I'm sorry, that's Simard going to the inside.
Yes, it is. Chris Simard in the 77. That is Tony Phillips behind him. Now, Tony Phillips is running in the 25th position, 2 laps down. So he is not in lucky dog contention. That right now is Jeff Hollingsworth, who is up at the back end of this front pack here. It is Hollingsworth on that outside lane, trying to keep himself in that lucky dog position, as Charles Woods, who is just entering turn 1 now, is the only other car 1 lap down, and he's about to get caught up.
What just happened to Ronnie Osmer?
Oh, wow, yes, Ronnie Osmer is down. Caution is out.
Caught the apron. And snap, see ya, bye.
And it's so easy to do, and that's the second time we've seen it. In turns 1 and 2, he caught it on exit, trying to straight line on exit. And fortunately for Osmer, doesn't hit anything. But you were talking about Kieran Bergelli being one of those bad luck kids. Ronnie Osmer is another case of somebody who just keeps, unfortunately, getting in his own way. And this is the perfect scenario of that, to where just a simple, unforced error has now put him from the lead to the tail end of the lead lap.
Yeah, I mean, you really hate to see that happen to anybody, but I've driven with Ronnie on endurance teams. I've driven with Ronnie in other series around iRacing. As far as pure raw talent goes, one of the best I've seen. And it's just the little, just the tiny mistakes. But he was able to, he got lucky there and luckily didn't hit anything, so he is going to stay on the lead lap, fortunately for him.
As wholesale pit stops now taking place, Butch Davis was the leader when the caution came out in the number 43, so he is going to be the first one to hit his box, and he is down and away, and boy, oh boy, he had a wiggle. A couple of other guys have a wiggle as well, but it will be Kieran Bergelli winning the race off of pit road. So Bergelli, first one out and possible leader.
And take a look at who came out in third place as well. We were just talking about him. That's your pole sitter, Chris Walker. So the two teammates there, look for them to possibly make a charge going forward.
Michael Sturgill is in this group as well. Timothy Bates in there as well. Garrett Maines coming out behind Bates. So we will reset the field here momentarily for you guys. As I believe...
I think Mark McFadden just inherited the lead.
I was just about to say, I believe Mark McFadden will cycle out to be the leader of the race here.
And it looks like Tony Phillips is going to get one of his laps back.
Yes, he will. We'll see if the lights go out on the safety car this time. They will. So Phillips will be given the wave around. There he goes. So Mark McFadden and Jeff Wubker, the two guys who did not pit under this most recent caution. Caution number 4 on the night for a single car spin. Nate Siefker clipping the apron, coming out of turn 2. And unfortunately for him, not hitting anything, but that will put him all the way back to the 17th position after pit stops cycle out. Another guy who gets really lucky with this pit stop and this caution is Jeff Hollingsworth. He is back on the lead lap now in the 23rd position. That will leave Charles Woods as the lucky dog as we sit at this very moment.
About to say, that's bad news for the rest of the field. Hollingsworth is back on the lead lap.
And we just saw Jeff Hollingsworth at the beginning of this race go all the way from the 29th position, and within 5 laps was able to get up into the top of the field here. But Tony, send us away.
As the pace car pulls in, green flag comes out, and McFadden pulls the trigger. Wubker goes with him. They got a great jump on Karen Brigelli, slightly asleep at the switch, and I'm wondering if Brigelli or Wubker may have snookered McFadden on that restart.
Might have been, as here comes. That is... no, I'm sorry, not Kieran Brigelli. That is Mark Wubker to Jeff Wubker. Pardon me, goodness, Jeff Wubker to the lead as Kieran Brigelli jumps to the outside, trying to get around Mark McFadden, and does. 3 wide for the lead, and boy, oh boy, did they make it close.
I think I just changed the flavor of my fire suit. Yeah, that was one of those close calls that, you know, made me cringe a lot. And here comes Walker.
Chris Walker right up to the back end of Jeff Wubker. Walker looking for the lead for the first time since the first set of pit stops. Unable to get it this lap. Kieran Brigelli right behind him. And then Brett Beasley, we haven't talked about him much tonight, but he has been right up at the top of the field this entire race in that red machine.
Well, that's the beauty of this new league, is everybody is going to get to lay their claim as to become one of the usual suspects. You know, we see Wubker running up front a lot in IndyCar races. We see Walker running up front. Same with Brigelli. Beasley, a new name to Wednesday night IndyCar racing here on ESBN, and I dare say we're going to be seeing a lot from him.
Without a doubt, as Nate Siefker has gotten up into this group. The 3 wide spinning off of 2. That is the number 3 of Paul Crumry.
Remember we were talking about bad luck kids?
Yeah.
There's another one.
As Paul Crumry goes for a spin.
Not sure how that wasn't a caution.
Who did he get into? He had gotten into somebody there. Kieran Brigelli. As those two came together, and I'm assuming far enough off the racing surface that these guys will be allowed to continue.
Yeah, Bergelli got real lucky that he didn't catch that inside safer barrier array that lines the back straightaway to separate it from the RV park.
And neither one of them caught that as, boy, right up to the wall goes Chris Walker on that outside lane, staggering up here at the front as Garrett Maines in the middle. He's right back up here in this group. But while we have a second here, and there's not going to be really much time to find a calm second here, we're going to bring to the booth here really quick Ernie Ludwig, who was unfortunately a part of several incidents tonight. Ernie Ludwig, Frank Marchese in the ESBN booth. You got us?
Hey, got you, Mike.
Just an unfortunate night for you. That first caution, I would assume, ran out of gas right in front of the field.
Yeah, I was getting really low. I had enough. I was running 6th gear most of the race, so I had lots of fuel. But yeah, you never know what's going to happen.
And then what happened from your point of view on that second incident, the one that unfortunately put a premature end to your evening?
Oh, I guess I must have got a little too close to the inside line there to that guy, and he kind of tapped my rear end. What do you do? That's Robbing's racing, I guess. Eh?
Yeah. How did the car feel tonight? We've seen a lot of side-by-side and three-wide action. How did your car feel in traffic, and was there a certain lane or position where you felt the best?
Oh, I felt great anywhere. Like that car, you could put it anywhere on this track. The setup, whoever did the setup, nice setup. And yeah, I could go anywhere. And yeah, I fell back for a while and then got down to about 10th or 12th. And then I thought, well, I'll come back up. And so I put her in 5th and gave her, and I was back up to 3rd in no time.
Going into, we start the season off on an oval. We go to Road America next. What is your thoughts going into that very long road course?
I like the road courses. I'm not the fastest on them, but I hold my own on them usually.
All right, so there is Ernie Ludwig. Thank you for taking the time here in the middle of the race to join us.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Frank.
No problem. So that was Ernie Ludwig, an unfortunate premature ending to his evening as Chris Walker has gone from battling for the lead just to trying to maintain his position. Currently sitting in the 8th position right now, or 9th positions across the line. Dylan Moskowitz is putting up a fight with him, and now look who else is here. That'll be Ronnie Osmer and Jeff Hollingsworth are right there as well at the back of this front pack.
Not really a big shock with those two, moving forward. Osmer always is in go time, even if it's not really go time yet. And Jeff Hollingsworth, what can you say about the guy other than I'm surprised it took him this long?
That really is about all you can say is up on that high lane. A lot of guys work at that high lane, and you just talked. You just heard from Ernie Ludwig. This car, you could put it anywhere, and we have certainly seen these guys put it anywhere and everywhere here tonight. And just that level of confidence that they can do that is a major factor as to why we're seeing the racing we're seeing.
Absolutely, and I think the biggest thing is I've seen more 3-wide without an oops happening than I have in the entirety of my broadcasting career.
As these guys continue to run side by side up at the front, Jeff Lupker still holds the lead. And as we see at tracks like Daytona and Talladega, if you're holding the inside lane, you're holding the lead. And with the inability to bump draft successfully in these cars, it's not going to be too difficult to keep it, as Garrett Maines is still trying to find a way with Michael Sturgill right behind him to get around that red bullet right now of Jeff Lupker.
And don't look now, but from fighting for his life to stay in the top 10 up into the 3rd spot, That's Chris Walker in the 23.
Yeah, another guy who's worked his way up as well is Timothy Bates. He's right back up to the front of this group here. He's right behind Jeff Hollingsworth, currently settled in the 8th position. We've seen him fall and fight to the middle of the field, but now he's battling up at the front as he's got Ronnie Osmer right to his outside.
They're 3 wide for third.
As you would figure, we've seen it all night long. But one guy we have not seen all night long up at the front, Chris Simard. The few times we saw him recently on IndyCar Wednesday nights, he has put on an absolutely incredible display. And this week, no different.
It's good to see Simard back in the nuclear banana. The Pennzoil color is very familiar with Simard behind the wheel. Great to see him running top 10 right now, and look for him to work with Hollingsworth. Those guys have worked well together in the past.
Reckon Timothy Bates around hard, and there is Bergelli as well.
Well then.
That all started in the middle of turns 1 and 2 when Bates had pushed up off the inside lane, had to back out of the gas really hard to the point where Brett Beasley almost ran over him. And then just a little bit of wheel touching between Luis Gonzalez Nunez and Timothy Bates, and that was it. And unfortunately, I think that might have been Johnny Antonucci. It was.
Yep.
Caught a piece of it at the end. Kevin O'Brien caught a piece of it at the end as well. But that was an accident, unfortunately, where its origins happened all the way at the other end of the track.
And it's not uncommon to see that when you're traveling a football field every second.
We'll see pit road takers here. Jeff Wupker looks as though he will lead them down, and he will. Wholesale pit stops happening here at Fontana. Under caution one more time for that accident you just saw. About to start lap number 73 as these guys go through pit lane. As Wupker pulls it into his box, we will see who wins the race off of pit road this time. So far, looks like everyone has gotten into the boxes clean. Getting out of the boxes just as clean, and that will be Jeff Wupker leading the race off of pit road once again.
First on, first off. You can't really find any flaws there. However, Garrett Maines was able to get by Chris Walker coming off pit road, so that's going to regulate Walker from second back to third again. But this is the highest we've seen Walker restart since the initial start when he sat on the pole.
Yep, talking about Wupker not making a mistake. Somebody who did make a mistake is the number 10 of Nate Seifker. End of the line penalty, too fast on exit for the number 10 of Nate Seifker.
And Nate's another one of those, I call him young gunners. Young guy, very talented, is always on go and always wants to, just mat his foot down and play chicken with the rest of the field. If he settles down the least little bit and starts to think 2-3 laps ahead, he's going to be very dangerous, and I mean that in a positive way to the rest of the field, because good luck catching him. He's already one of the best we've seen around on a road course.
Yep, and that is one of the things, and we remember a couple of months ago, just one heck of a race he had on a road course, and that is where we head. And that is where we head next week at Road America up in Wisconsin. This will be round number 2 of the Sim Racers Edge season up in up in the cheese state of Wisconsin. And Tony, I'm sure we're both going to be just as excited for that as we are for this one.
I love Road America. I love it. Watkins Glen is my home track. My favorite road course is Road America. There's just so much history at that track that you can't not know what's going on there.
Yeah, and we will know exactly what's going on there. Same time, same place here next week, right here on ESBN. But for right now, we're about to start lap 75. Pace car is off. Jeff Wubker will lead the field down, and we are back to green flag racing here, one lap away from the halfway point here at Auto Club Speedway. As we see it again, Tony, front two sort of break away from the pack. We're going to see Maines get a great run here, but will he be able to complete the pass on the outside going into 3?
I think he went to the wrong side of Wubker, and, well, maybe not. There he is, just muscles his way through.
And that's how you got to do it. You got to get that run. You got to get the pass done before you get into the corner. And Maines back to the point as Chris Walker up to the outside lane. They're 3 wide for second place. Look who's back up front. It's the 97 of Jeff Hollingsworth.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that we're going to see, on the at least on the oval side, you're going to see Garrett Maines, Jeff Hollingsworth, and Chris Walker battling all season long to be the front runner up there. And look who else is back. There's Ronnie Osmer in that group.
Yep, Osmer, who spun out from the lead. Chris Simard is there. Butch Davis is up here as well. Top 8 have broken away from the field. The second back, leading the second group, is Luis Gonzalez-Nunez in the 15, that pink and black machine. He has Carl Burke in the 53 right behind him. And then just about a half a second back, you'll find Brett Beasley, Jeffrey Roulette, and Dylan Moskowitz. As Moskowitz falls to the back behind Beasley and Roulette. But up at the front, still just as crazy. This time a different competitor. It's Chris Walker to the outside of Garrett Maines. And Walker has not led this race since those pit stops the first time through.
He has not, but he does have some help. That's his teammate right behind him. Or no, I'm sorry. That's Sturgill. That's Sturgill right behind him. And this could get interesting.
Yeah, without a doubt, as inside lane, Garrett Maines in the baby blue and orange. Number 14, falling off the back of him is Jeff Wubker. And boy, oh boy, Michael Sturgill found a lane to the inside. Unfortunately, couldn't take it. And look at the almighty run that Jeff Hollingsworth takes all the way up to the third lane.
I think Hollingsworth right now is just testing the waters to see what happens, where he can time a run. Look for that wily old veteran to make it happen in the closing laps here.
And hopefully so. We have just gotten past halfway. We're working lap 80 of 150. As there goes the 43 of Butch Davis up to the third lane. We've seen Butch up here for quite a good majority of this race. Nice to see Butch Davis running up in the front pack.
Absolutely is. Butch is one of those names that we don't mention enough, and we're 3 wide for the lead again.
I was just going to say, I was hoping you were going to continue on Butch, because that just goes to show how normal that has been this race, to go 3 wide for the lead, that we don't break out of something to broadcast it. As that's Sturgill in the outside lane now. Chris Walker starting to fall back. There's Butch Davis in the middle. Still hanging on into 4.
And now, mind you, the paint scheme Butch Davis is running is, again, a tribute to John Andretti, who unfortunately we did lose during the pandemic portion of this year. And Butch putting that car out with a nose out front going into turn number 3.
And nose out front going into turn 3, but fully behind going out of turn 4, as still Garrett Maines leading this race. Michael Sturgill in the middle, and there's Butch Davis. You get that run off the outside lane. Unfortunately, it's a heck of a lot longer to go around the outside than it is on the inside, and that is what's keeping Butch Davis back right now.
That's exactly what's doing it. If Michael Sturgill wasn't there, the runs that Butch Davis is getting, if Sturgill would dunk behind Maines...
Oh, car sliding through the grass.
There it goes.
No, still, he bunny hops, but we're going to keep it green, as that was Jeff Wubker. One heck of a save from the driver of the 09.
Yeah, he just got more airtime than a skateboard at the X Games.
He just lost it on his own.
Well,
He just bounced it through the infield grass and continue on as though nothing happened.
he has some of the older tires on the track right now, too. But, yeah.
No, he won the race off pit road.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Yes.
We have, in that time, had a change for the lead, as Michael Sturgill has gotten the inside away from Garrett Maines and has taken the lead, and Butch Davis still hanging around that outside. And for the first time tonight, here comes Chris Simard battling for the lead in that number 77.
Well, Simard, if Simard wants to make it happen, he's going to have to get up there and give a little bit of a shove, because I don't think he's going to be able to get around otherwise.
We've seen it all night long that if you want to take the lead, you've got to somewhat snipe the inside line away from whoever has it, or you have to get that slingshot and complete the pass before the corner. But one guy who has been making moves up through the field, look who's back in the top 10. It's that number 10 of Nate Siefker, now in the middle of 3 wide in the 7th position.
Yeah, Siefker knows what he's doing in traffic. But what I'm thinking is, you've got to team up with somebody, and you've got to push them like it was a race at Talladega or Daytona, because you can bump draft in this car. As weird as that sounds, ladies and gentlemen, the physics engine allows us to bump draft in Indy cars. And you've got to team up with somebody and push them to the front and keep pushing them and hope and trust them enough that once you do push them to the front, they're going to stay with you and let you continue to push them until you can get clear of the other guy.
I believe that was Maines on the inside. Got a little close there with Chris Simard, but up to 3rd place now is Nate Siefker, as Sturgill and Butch Davis still battling side by side for the race lead here, as we're coming up to about 60 laps to go here in the opening race for Sim Racer's Edge. And boy, oh boy, have they put on one heck of a show here to debut.
Nothing short of spectacular so far. Just very impressive driving all throughout the field. And a lot of respect being shown by every one of the drivers on the track right now.
The top 20 drivers, from Michael Sturgill all the way back to Jari Brupatcher in the 17, are covered by 2.5 seconds. Going back a little bit further, you will find Jeff Wubker, who was the one that went through the grass not that long ago, running in the 21st position, but 2.5 seconds is all that separates 1st to 20th. And about any one of these guys can win this race.
Yeah, that's the beauty of Auto Club Speedway. It's a big, wide 2 mile. There's banking to help you in the corners, and you can see 3 wide all night long like we've been seeing. So it's still anyone's race as long as you're on the lead lap when it comes time for the money stop.
Especially, like I said, if you've got a bunch of guys that can do it right, you can put on one heck of a show. And these guys are proving that right before our eyes. As another guy who has found his way back up through the field right before our eyes is Timothy Bates. Now, he was the one that caused that last caution after colliding in the middle of turns 3 and 4. But to bring out the most recent caution, he has gotten his fast repair, is back up to the 9th position, and on that inside preferred lane. So we can see that Sid start making a charge here in the not-so-distant future.
Well, we've seen Bates win in IndyCars. As a matter of fact, we saw it at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So I think Bates might just be biding his time right now, just kind of timing his runs, figuring out, okay, this is where I need to drop the hammer and just let it eat.
He does have to be a little careful. He does not have that safety net of the fast repair available anymore after the last caution. Still out front leading the way is the number 90 of Michael Sturgill. He has been able to pin that car on the inside line and no one has been able to touch him. Butch Davis, you see there, getting a nose out in front of that lead, of the lead car of Sturgill, but has not been able to get much beyond that. 1/1000th of a second that time was the difference, and Sturgill comes out the beneficiary of that 1/1000th on that lap.
And I got to think we've got to be getting close to green flag pit stops.
It's been a while. It was the halfway point of the race, which was 20 laps ago. And judging by, we heard from Ernie Ludwig before, he did run out of gas. That caused the second caution, meaning that Yari Brupatcher also ran out of fuel. So I would say that was with the help of the caution flag. And boy, Ronnie Osborne pushed up in the middle of 1 and 2 and then gets clipped.
Contact with Chris Walker.
Yep, got clipped by Chris Walker. Both of them don't seem the worse for wear. And surprisingly, Osmer still has a front wing.
Well, they banged wheels. It wasn't weird contact. They just banged wheels and, kept on going. But
off you go.
Yeah, and Bob's your uncle. I just can't get over the fact of what we've been seeing all night long here, Frank. 3 wide throughout the field. Guys making runs, guys showing respect. That's the biggest thing. Everybody showing respect and giving each other a little bit of room and, making sure that they're racing hard, but they're racing clean.
What is that move that Osborne just made? Went from the inside to the outside to the inside, back to the outside, all in a matter of 300 yards.
Well, he's had a lot of practice on I-77 making his way from Mooresville to Charlotte.
Well, that practice can only help. Oh! Yep, there they go. There goes Osborne. He's flipping now. Caution is out.
That was Chris Walker.
Yep, that was Osmer and Walker getting into it again. And a fortunate timing for the field. It was just about pit stop time. But Osmer got a heck of a run coming out of the corner. Hollingsworth involved.
That all started when Chris Walker was caught in the sucker hole and lost all the downforce on that car.
Yep. Walker pushed up. Walker and Hollingsworth both go for a ride. As they come down the track, I think somebody else, there's Tim Phillips and Paul Crumry.
I think Hollingsworth's night is done. Burned his fast repair once already, I believe.
I don't... No, that was just the front wing was his problem. Yari Brupatcher spins at the back of this. Raul Alvarez
That
Had
wasn't a
Osmer
spin. He got run over.
Raul Alvarez had Osmer flip over him and then just turned down into Yari Brupatcher, who was just trying to get back onto the track. And Alvarez just clobbered him. As wholesale pit stops happening here, this happened just at the
50 to go.
Yeah, at the 50 to go, but at the pit cycle. Those were the words I was looking for.
And this just in, Chris Walker will be going to the end of the longest line.
I mean, it's as if he was not going to be there.
Anyways.
Yeah, he's just now bringing that car into pit road, just stopping in his box. So he will be taking a fast repair. Fortunately for him, he was able to drive that car around. But still, that is a needed fast repair for Chris Walker, and he's back out, and as you say, at the end of the longest line. So that will leave the race lead to Michael Sturgill. After the pit stop cycle out, Yari Brupatcher has called it a night. Jeff Hollingsworth done as well. So you're right, Tony. Maybe it was a little bit more than just that broken front wing on that restart that sent Hollingsworth to the back.
Yeah, I dare say with he brushed the wall. I watched him brush the wall a couple of times, and I'm thinking he may have done some suspension damage early on, and his fast repair got burned before he even realized it. And we've seen that happen before.
I mean, it happened to me not that long ago in a Paskey's race. I completely forgot.
There you go.
That there was fast repairs and used it without knowing. So just to reset field here, as we got a half a lap before we go green. We have 50 laps to go. We'll restart with 49. Michael Sturgill, Butch Davis, Brett Beasley's found his way back up into the top 5. He's in 3rd. Nate Siefker and Jeffrey Roulette up into 5th position. Timothy Bates, Carl Burke, Chris Simard, Dylan Moskowitz, and Mark McFadden, the top 10. 19 cars on the lead lap. Chris Walker, being at the end of the longest line, is the last of those cars.
And here's the beautiful part. We have not seen the money stop yet. And by that I mean we haven't seen the final pit stop because you cannot make it from here.
No, you are going to need at least one more stop as Sturgill slows the field down. We get the green flag, and there goes Sturgill. We are back to racing here at Auto Club Speedway. Sturgill leading from Butch Davis and Brett Beasley.
This is going to be fun to see if, Sturgill has a head of steam right now. Can he get the pass done like we've seen before?
When they got to the corner.
The answer is no.
Yeah, no, Butch Davis was too far behind coming out of turn 2 in order to make the pass work. He'll lead this lap. As look at the run that Nate Siefker got on the outside lane. Butch Davis tried to force his way onto that inside line. Sturgill wasn't having it. Sturgill back to the race lead. And I believe Butch Davis is going to lose another spot. No, Beasley's still hanging right there, and he's just barely got that wing on Sturgill. And Davis tried to swing to the outside, but Beasley had the wing on him.
Well, Davis just tried to cut down and kill any momentum that Beasley had, and Beasley, he had to back out. Either that or he was going to catch the race car to the front wing, and you definitely don't want that to happen. So now comes the fun part. Who's going to work with who to try to make something happen up here in the front?
2 by 2, 3 rows deep, going through turns 3 and 4 here at Fontana. They're swinging down to the inside lane is Butch Davis. Now trying back on the outside is Davis, and we've seen it all night. That car on the inside has the momentum. You've got to get the run, and you've got to make the pass. You've got to have the pass done before you get into the corner. Otherwise, this is what you got. And look at who's jumped up to 4th place. Second car on the outside line. That's the 6 of Timothy Bates.
Started 31st, currently running in 4th. And just a hell of a run out of the Incredible Hulk.
And to be fair to Timothy Bates, he did not set a qualifying time. Did the number 6, and he has that inside line open to him if he wants it, but he's got Nate Siefker, who you know is going to get a good run, and there goes Butch Davis to the inside, try to get that draft pull around Michael Sturgill. Unfortunately, it's not going to be enough as Sturgill leads the inside line going through 3 and 4 and will most likely lead this lap.
Butch is working on the timing right now, and he's timing his runs just a tick too late.
Somebody else who is working on their runs right now is Garrett Maines. We've just seen him come back up into this group. 3rd car on the outside lane. He is without a doubt had one of the faster cars all night long. And unfortunately, his biggest rival, Jeff Hollingsworth, unfortunately out of this race. So this could be Maines' race to lose if he gets into the position.
Well, another car that's making some headway right now is the Nuclear Banana, the number 77 of Chris Simard, as he's up into the top 3.
Yep, Chris Simard, there you see him, 2nd car on the outside lane, right in front of Garrett Maines. As now he will go to the inside of Butch Davis, trying to take over that 2nd position. Sturgill now starting to get away a little bit. And this huge pack of 17 cars put a 2.5 seconds between 1st and 17th Johnny Antonucci.
Well, for what it's worth, I mean, Antonucci he's no slouch.
No, not at all.
And he's another one of those ones that he's one of the bad luck hits. He just gets caught up in other people's dumpster fires, and we've seen Johnny Antonucci catch more race cars to the face than a baseball catcher during spring training.
Boy, Timothy Bates forced his way to 3 wide up at the front. And Garrett Maines is right back there down on that inside lane. 2nd car right behind it. Look at Butch Davis swing to make it 3 wide going into turn number 3. Butch is confident in his race car right now.
Well, he had a heck of a tow coming down that back straightaway, and he had to go to that 3rd lane to avoid running Tim Bates over.
Right, but you don't make that kind of snap move going into a corner unless you are 1,000% confident that car's going to stick, and we have an accident in the middle of 3 and 4.
It was 1 and 2.
1 and 2, pardon me, is there's Roulette was involved, Moskowitz involved. There is a car on its lid down to back. That's Charles Woods. And for Woods, that will be his night over. Used a fast repair earlier, but we'll take a look now at what transpired to bring out this caution, as we have not had one small caution here at Auto Club. It's been big every time.
Carl Burke caught the apron, and that set the entire thing off.
Yep, he did, unfortunately, and that Burke gets flung into the catch fence. A couple of other cars getting involved, but Roulette, Moskowitz, Burke. Some of the big names, the big players in that wreck.
Johnny Antonucci has a cone hanging off his front wing.
Not necessarily where you would expect it to be.
He speared it, trying to avoid the accident.
Jeff Wubker somehow gets around that. Ronnie Osmer was involved. And Osmer's night is done. Dan Brazington, Paul Crumry also catching pieces of it as cars make their way down pit road again.
Brumry looks pretty clean.
Crumry, I think he just got
lucky dog.
nudged into the wall. And you're right, he will get lucky dog here. So another big incident in the middle of turns 1 and 2. Bringing out, I believe, our 8th caution of the evening.
I believe so. And look who stayed out.
Yep, that would be Chris Walker. Now, again, Walker, we had said right before we took the green that you cannot make it on fuel. Walker right now is about half a tank of fuel from what we could estimate here. Restarting with 49 laps to go. We're working lap 113 right now, so it's about 12, 13 laps of green flag running. So he's got a little bit over half a tank right now. And he's got Tony Phillips behind him. Phillips is still 2 laps down and unfortunately will not be able to get a wave around.
Because Walker stayed out.
Yeah, because Walker did not pit.
But look who won the battle off pit road.
That would have been Garrett Maines.
And Charlie Woods just put it on the hauler.
Yep, Chris Simard also given an end-of-line penalty here at this restart. So the 77 brings it down pit road again, most likely to top off. Still, even if you've pit under this caution, you cannot make it from here on fuel. We've seen about 31, 32 laps be the limit of what you can go, and that was with a caution in between.
Right.
So you'd have to assume maybe 28, 29 laps on a tank of fuel, at which Walker's about halfway through that at the moment.
And with as hard as he's been running, I doubt he's been using 6th gear. So he probably burned a little more than that off.
And that is important to note because these cars do have 6 gears, but it's really the 5, the first 5 that are used. 6th gear is more of a fuel-saving, running in clean air sort of gear to try to save as much fuel as you can. If you're battling, you're flipping between 5th and 6th to try to get that momentum to get around somebody. As Phillips is going to start in between 1st and 2nd here, which is an interesting development here, as Walker will lead them down and he will get a big jump, and unfortunately Phillips is going to block Garrett Maines from getting through. Remember, you cannot pass on the inside before the start line, so that is a huge jump that Chris Walker has gotten out to. And now Maines and Sturgill are going to have to work their way around Tony Phillips, and that was why that was so interesting, Tony.
Yeah, Tony Phillips not winning any friends right now as Maines and Sturgill finally released, and they've got a head of steam as they are reeling Chris Walker in hand over fist.
And not necessarily too entertained right now would be their status. And unfortunately for Maines, he is not going to catch Walker in the greatest of positions, but he has that momentum coming off in turn 2. Wouldn't be surprised if he can get the move done here down the back. He has him cleared, but Walker, right as the corner comes up, is able to stick that wing under the left rear corner, keeping Maines on the outside lane.
Maines almost had the clear. He had the drafting help.
Oh! Ooh, a huge wreck. A hard hit.
That was Butch Davis.
For Butch Davis. Wow. And just looking at telemetry, when he goes around, that car is going 232 miles an hour. And he took a hard hit into this front stretch wall.
He just ever so slightly grazed the front wing of Tim Bates. And there's a definite thank God this is a simulator moment for tonight. And as you said, 232 miles an hour headlong into a concrete retaining wall. There's no safer barrier in that section of this track, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, you can see, if we go up to the front of the field here, you can see where the safer barrier kind of melds into the concrete wall on the outside down the back straightaway. And the same thing goes down the front straightaway here at Fontana. As I have been to this racetrack and have seen a race here. These guys go incredibly quick down the front straightaway, and again, 232 miles an hour headlong into an unprotected wall. That, if this were not a simulator, that could have been disastrous.
That's a basilar skull fracture waiting to happen.
As, again, cars heading into pit road. Chris Walker has... That was interesting. Chris Walker pulled it into the first pit stall, and Chris Walker's called it a night. Chris Walker is done. Yeah, that is...
I will be right back, sir.
Yeah, that right there is an interesting development. Michael Sturgill did not pit. Garrett Maines wins the race off of pit road. But the story right now, Chris Walker, who came into the pits with the lead, and on an incident that happened behind him, has called it an evening. Really, seemingly unprompted. So Michael Sturgill will lead this race. Tony's trying to find out what happened to Chris Walker.
Chris had a family emergency he had to take care of.
That would be a lot more important than this. So
Absolutely, family comes first. And
yes, good luck, Chris, on whatever may have happened. So that would be why Walker has called it an abrupt evening here, as we've got 31 laps to go as we hit the line here at the Auto Club Speedway. And boy, oh boy, have we had a night and a half here at Auto Club, the debut of Sim Racer's Edge.
Absolutely. And, you know, you're almost to the point right now where you could roll the dice, and if this thing stays green, you could make it from here, because I believe there's a fuel mixture setting that you can play with the in-car adjustments that iRacing has given, even though this is a fixed setup league. So you can adjust the fuel, you can run in 6th gear, and you can trim the car out. There's an outside chance you could make 30 laps on a tank of fuel here.
So the top 17 are on the lead lap. Chris Simard, the last car on the lead lap. Carl Burke, the first car off of the lead lap. Michael Sturgill leading Jeffrey Roulette, Paul Crumry, and Raul Alvarez. All four of them did not pit, so they cannot make it on fuel from here. In 5th place right now is Garrett Maines, who was the first car off of pit road and is the first car that has a chance, if you do what Tony said, has a chance of making it to the end of this race.
I mean, it's going to be a big ask, and for a Type A personality like most of these guys are, it's going to be, whoa! Raul Alvarez spun the tires, and Garrett Maines just got run over from behind.
So a bad restart from 5th place on back, as there might be some guys, and you will be able to see which guys are going for it and which guys are trying to save, as there you see Luis Gonzalez Nunez falling to the back, running on the apron through turns 1 and 2. Doesn't appear to be any visible damage on that car. He might, no, he's still got the wing, but he certainly is not up to pace.
No, he's not, but what a, wow. I mean, that was a wild restart, and you can see all the damage to the rear of that car. The transmission tunnel taking the brunt of the force on Garrett Maines' car as he got run over on that restart, and that's got to affect the top speed.
And you see that bent up rear wing on the back of that car. It doesn't seem to be phasing him as he takes it 3 wide going into turn 1. Look who's come back here from that speeding penalty. Nate Siefker is back up here in this group. He's in the 7th position right now. And also the second car on the inside line, well now third car on the inside line, that's Jeff Wubker, the 09 back through. Remember, we saw him showing off the new Dallara lawnmower. He's right back up here in the front group.
And, you know, they say the cream rises to the top, and we're seeing some of the usual suspects that we see up front in IndyCar racing here on ESBN, and nothing short of impressive tonight from everybody.
Without a doubt, as there goes Maines to the outside. Dylan Moskowitz in that Napa number 44 is in this group as well. 4th car on the inside lane. Timothy Bates, 3rd car on the outside lane. He's trying to find his way through. He's going to try to poke the hole between Maines, and boy, Beasley gets left out and cut off by both Bates and Maines as they both take to the inside lane. And look who else is up here. Paul Crumry. He was just wrecked a minute ago.
Yeah, and Crumry's got to be a little bit on the cautious side right now. Now, the good news is he doesn't have damage. Maines does. And you can see every time Maines jumps out, instead of being able to carry that speed like Crumry's able to right now, Maines, it's like hitting a wall every time he ducks out of traffic.
But what Maines is also doing is he is swinging to that outside and coming down the hill, picking up speed that way down to the inside lane, is able to stick with these guys. He's not going to be able to do that here, as he's going to have to cut off Brett Beasley in the 69 in 4th place. As there you see the top 5 all separated by about a hand napkin.
And there's about a 3 or 4 mile an hour difference between what everybody else can do and what Maines can do. So he's got more damage. And whoa, hang on to her.
That Mark was McFadden. Maines and McFadden going into turn 3. We've seen Mark McFadden hanging around just that back edge of the top 10. He's found his way to the back end of the top 5. So McFadden in that 22 making up trades.
And don't look now, but look who's back into the top 10. That's the number 43 of Butch Davis.
Yep, Butch Davis on the outside lane, that extreme outside lane, that 3rd lane for the 43 of Butch Davis. He was just wrecked and flipping not that long ago as well, as it's still Sturgill and Crumry up at the front. But remember, Sturgill is going to have to pit, and the caution comes out, a big flipping 4. Not sure who that was. Flipping through turn 4. Jeffrey Bogan. So, and he ends up just, was a little clip from Carl Burke sent him around and up and into the catch fence. Burke should be fine. He's missing the right side of his front wing.
Well,
But
the
for
bad
Jeffrey
news is
Bogan,
that's not going to give Carl Burke the wave around being the first car one lap down.
Yep, being a part of the caution does not make you eligible for the lucky dog. So Carl Burke will not get that lucky dog. He is the only car one lap down, so that's a benefit to him. But as the field comes in now with, 23 laps to go, you
can make it from here.
Make it from here.
Yes, absolutely.
And surprisingly, Sturgill stays out. Second consecutive caution. Sturgill stays out.
He's got to be trying to save fuel as much as possible. But
even
Sturgill,
then-
Beasley, Maines, and Davis all stayed out. Paul Crumry, the first one to take it down pit road.
Yeah, but even then, I believe Sturgill, the last pit stop Sturgill made was on lap 100.
That's a big ask.
He should be running out of fuel any minute.
Allegedly.
Well, that would be the timing. Also interesting to not see Garrett Maines come in to try to fix that rear wing.
I don't think Garrett Maines realizes just how bad that rear wing is tweaked. And I can guarantee you Carl Burke doesn't realize he doesn't have a right front wing.
Well, then Carl Burke also cannot pit on that first lap with the leaders, so I'm sure he'll be coming in now. As Paul Crumry wins the race off of pit road from Timothy Bates. And while we have a second here, we would like to apologize and acknowledge for the first time our, this won't be an acknowledgement of the first time. We do apologize for the technical issues that we had earlier in the race, and acknowledging now for the first time we've not had the Facebook stream up since the first caution. We were having, unfortunately, having too many technical issues to keep the Facebook stream up, so we've been exclusively on YouTube for this one, and hopefully we will have the kinks worked out as we head to Road America next week. For round number 2 of Sim Racer's Edge. Would also like to direct you into the description of this YouTube stream, where you will find the link to the aforementioned Facebook page. You will find the link to our Twitter page and also to our Teespring store, where you can find all of your ESBN and ESBN League affiliated merchandise, shirts, hats, coffee mugs.
No hats.
No hats. Okay. Well, maybe that's one that we can get on. Long sleeve shirts, hoodies, face masks. So if you want, I'm pretty sure, I think we do have a Sim Racer's Edge merchandise available on Teesprings. Yes? If not, coming soon?
If not coming soon, and don't forget the promo codes that are going on right now. ESBN 20 for free shipping within the continental United States. That's the lower 48 for locals. And
NASCAR for 20% off your total purchase.
I was about to say, I wasn't going to be the one to say that magic word.
That was it. So there are your links in the description of this video as we get restarted here. 20 laps to go. Michael Sturgill in the lead on how much fuel, as Brett Beasley in second place, Garrett Maines in third, and Maines immediately to that outside line.
Trying to get some separation so he can get a run as Beasley pulls up to the high side. Sturgill is got to be in fuel save mode. If he's not, he's definitely going to run out.
3 wide for the race lead, and Butch Davis is there. That top 4 all running for the lead. 19 laps to go, or 18 laps to go, pardon me, here at Fontana. Sturgill somehow, some way able to hold on and will that car to keep going. He really cannot be that far off the pit stop, can he?
I would say no, because he's gone 33 laps. Even if he turned the fuel setting to, SIP and paced around in sixth gear, you're still burning a gallon a lap.
And even if he did do that, he would not be where he is right now. You would notice a severe pace drop-off in that number 90 of Sturgill, but he's holding right up here for the lead as we're still 3 wide for second place. It's Beasley on the inside, now Garrett Maines on the outside. Paul Crumry, who was the first car off of pit road under the caution flag, is now up here battling. He is the first car that we know without a doubt can make it to the end.
Yeah, and Crumry is half due. One of the guys that you always see him just get caught up in someone else's mistake. So I know we got to stay impartial, but Crumry's due.
My goodness, what a run from Jeff Wubker. He took from the inside all the way to the outside, and he's up in that fourth lane. He's hoping to get one heck of a run off the corner and down the back straightaway. And unfortunately, he had Mans cut him off, but he's still working high in that fourth lane.
Still working high in that fourth lane as Davis getting in the sucker hole right now, drops down behind Crumry. Crumry swings it to the high side, going into turn number 1. They're 3 wide for second. That's Beasley on the inside, Maines in the middle, and Crumry trying to make it happen on the high side. Not going to make it happen this time as they head it down the back straightaway.
Jeff Wubker had to let off to keep from running into the back of Butch Davis, as that's the battle for 5th. Wubker goes to the outside. Paul Crumry in the 3. See him in that white and red, number 3 on the high lane. Again, we know he can make it on fuel.
And I just got word from race control. Mark McFadden just got disqualified.
Oh, that's not good. And there's, I believe that was Wubker that just went to the high line. It is Wubker having an issue through 1 and 2 has now forced him to fall all the way back beyond Chris Simard, who was running in 13th position the last time they crossed the line. He's now fighting with Jeffrey Roulette. Wubker down to 12th.
And, that's not something you normally see out of Wubker, that much of a slip up. But still within the drafting range, he could probably make a comeback as we are closing in on 10 to go.
Look at who we're seeing up here for the first time. Luis Gonzalez Nunez. We've seen him in the background plenty in this race. He's now moving himself into the foreground in that pink and black, number 15. He's the second car on the inside lane. And with how long it's been since Michael Sturgill has pitted, a very brave man to be behind the number 90 right now.
You're not wrong, and nobody wants to really get behind Sturgill because nobody knows when that car is going to start to sputter, and especially with as close as Nunez is getting to him, and Nunez is having the same problem that everybody else has been having. When you've got traffic in front of you like that, there's no air getting to that front wing, and you're going to push up the track, and here comes Siefker.
Yep, Siefker on the outside now. He's the 4th car, that yellow car. As Timothy Bates goes a challenge for the lead. A big wreck. That's Samard Beasley involved. And that was the break that a guy like Michael Sturgill needed. He could come in, top off. And unfortunately for some of these guys, not the break that they were looking for.
I think Crumry might have been involved in that one too.
Butch Davis was. It appears to be the 25.
I'm sorry, that wasn't Crumry.
Jeffrey Roulette might have caught a bit of it. There's Jeff Wupker, Brett Beasley involved. There's another wreck down the back straightaway, and this time inside of 10 laps to go. Tony, we were talking about it before, the money stop. This is most likely going to be it, and Timothy Bates is going to be the one leading them down pit road.
I must have seriously missed something because I have no idea how.
Well, I guess they're not coming in. There's Means fakes it.
Okay,
If
Bates
somebody-
had his nose out front when the caution flew.
Yes. If we could have somebody with timing and scoring tell us when the last time Sturgill pit, that would be fantastic.
It's
'Cause I
been a
could
while ago.
I could swear he stayed out the last 3 cautions.
Lap
He's-
113.
Lap 113. So this is 30 laps right here on this tank of fuel for Sturgill. And remember, we saw Ludwig and Brupatcher.
Those guys
Run out
both
of
went
fuel
bingo
on-
on 34.
Yeah.
This is going to be a fun restart.
And if the rules package is somewhat the same from 3 weeks ago, we are not expecting green-white checkered finishes here.
I don't nope. It does not say that we are going to have GWC.
So if there is a caution here, I would say within the last 4 laps of the race will end under caution
Well, we should get the green with...
next time.
Is it next time?
It should be. We should get
Let's
it with
find
7
out.
to go.
Well, keep your eye on the pace car, folks.
So as the
3,
safety car heads
2,
down to
1. You are correct, sir.
so the lights go out on the safety car.
We get the green with 6 to go.
6 laps of racing. And I would say, like I would assume within 2 laps, if a caution happens within the first 2 laps, we might have a 1-lap shootout for the win. If it happens beyond 2 laps, I think we're ending this under caution.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, this is go time. So the big
We've
question
run.
is, who's going to do it? Who's going to push their luck now?
I mean, and I take that math from doing about 3 laps behind the safety car plus the 1 it takes to actually collect the field back up.
Right.
So that
After
would
the
be
green
4
comes out,
laps.
next flag ends it.
Depending upon how quick the yellow comes out, if a yellow does come out.
Right, but my big question is, I'm looking at who's running in the top 10 right now, and there's a lot of problem children up there. And yes, the usual suspects who run up towards the front, but they can get a little chippy at times. And I'm wondering who's going to be the problem child as we are back underway.
Timothy Bates gets out to a big lead. That's Michael Sturgill behind him. Garrett Maines behind him in 3rd place. Then Nate Siefker in 4th. Sturgill has a heck of a run. He could use that to go to the outside. He will. Will he
they
be
bang!
able to
They bang wheels again!
and just does clear Timothy Bates going into turn 3. Michael Sturgill back to the lead. 5 laps to go. Oh, they're hitting again.
They're trying to wreck.
And that allows Garrett Maines
to get the run to the outside of both of them. Still, though, possibly with that wind damage, is not able to get the run he needs, as here comes Bates looking to the outside. Heading into turn 3.
Seifker trying to work to the outside of Maines, and he's got to be careful because he's now got Luis Nunez right there with him.
Nunez is there, and boy, oh boy, Nunez with the cut to the inside lane, 4 laps to go. Here at Auto Club Speedway, a little bit of a nudge that sends Timothy Bates up the hill and will allow Garrett Maines into the second position. Maines to the outside now, fighting for the lead as he's side by side with Sturgill going into 3.
I gotta think Sturgill has got to be on fumes by now. This is going to get exciting as we are 3 to go.
3 wide for the lead. He could have been lowering that fuel map down during these cautions. That will save you a lot of fuel as Sturgill continues to lead here. 3 laps to go. There's Garrett Maines to the outside lane. Nate Seifker pushing behind. Paul Crumry up there as well. 2 laps to go at the line. You're going to have to make a very rash move to the inside of Michael Sturgill if you want to win this race.
2 laps to go as Sturgill continues to show the way. Maine trying to figure out a way around him. Bates trying to figure out a way around him. And these guys are just mired right now. They're both going to have to work together to do it. And 4 wide behind them.
4 wide as that was Brett Beasley and I believe Dylan Moskowitz.
And Bates has a run.
Together. Yep, Bates has a run on that outside lane. They're going to drag race down the back straightaway.
Final lap as they haul it off into turn number 3. 3 wide for 3rd right now.
Nunez, there goes Seifker. Seifker hard into the wall. Caution does not come out, but to the line. The miracle fuel saver could be Sturgill, and by Bates. Timothy Bates wins the race. By 0.000. Timothy Bates wins here at Auto Club the first race for Sim Racer's Edge. Goes to the number 6 of Bates.
I'm
That's about all you could say.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
You talk about
1/10,000th of a second. I'm going to say that again, 1/10,000th of a second. They had to go to the 4th decimal point, people. And it was 1/10,000th of a second.
you hear it all the time. You can't have a finish closer than that. This was just the first race of Sim Racer's Edge. And you really can't have a finish closer than that. Unbelievable. As we're going to go here to the interviews. The winner of tonight's race, Timothy Bates.
How about that?
By
Yeah.
1/10,000th of a second.
No. You guys have no idea. We're in the race chat, and I don't know if it came across in the broadcast, but
It did not.
I had the lead, and Sturgill came up on the side. I felt like he gave me a little bump, and then he got the lead and came past me. And look, he earned that lead, and it wasn't a bump where going to cause wreck. So when we came back around the second time, I gave him like 2 bumps, and I got across channels. I felt the first bump. Anyways, where we come across the finish line, I'm telling them we're good, and I'm sorry that they. But guess what? We raced clean as hell. It was just little, basically just bumping. I had no idea I won. Honest to God, I have to watch a replay. I literally, from my view, and maybe it's the way my screen's pointed out, I thought he had me.
Yeah, we didn't know you won either. We thought Sturgill had it.
Yeah. Hey,
But
there's no reversing this stuff. We can look it all back up later on. I'm up here right now. We're talking. Let's go. How about the finish? The first sim racing edge. I mean, literally, this league has been a brainchild for literally just brought some great people together, teamed up with ESBN, Sam Cooper Bennett, obviously, and you guys, and literally we came together, put some like minds together, what we wanted to basically go forward with, and then the field tonight. Are you kidding me? Like I got in and I was like, oh man, Chris Walker, he's team captain. I was like, you got to jump in. I don't know if they're going to fill up, man. I mean, you got to get on. Let's go. What? And then the finish. I mean, we went. There was no way I thought that we would go 20 laps at this track with the setup we had, and it's hey, it's close. And literally, and then just to have the finish we had. Wow, what an exciting start to something great that's gonna I think last for years to come.
now we had earlier in the race, we had Ernie Ludwig in the booth here, and he said that this car, with the setup on this car, you could put this car absolutely anywhere and feel 100% confident that it would stick. Did you feel the same way in this car? Or did you have a little bit of a different feel?
No, I'll disagree just a little bit. Maybe in the beginning, but when you get behind that draft and you get them runs going, and you build up that speed. Once you hit the pit limiter from 5 to 6, you had that momentum going in, and at that point, you either had to let off, you had to take a turn and get out of clean air. There was a lot of driving that had to be done to make them runs. Yes, the car was set up where you could make those runs. You just had to be in position, and you had to know what gears to do and what turns to do it, and make them apex correctly where you weren't losing momentum coming out. But it wasn't like you. Now the lead, yes, you could get in the lead, and I tried. If you guys didn't tell, I last 6 laps, and just like try to get a jump, and I had a jump, and maybe I had too big of a jump because Sturgill came out and he was able to. We get running, and I got that bottom line. It was going to be real tough for anybody to pass us.
So we leave beautiful Southern California, a nice wide oval track running flat out, and we go right to another long track. However, this time it's Road America road course. Going from fast oval to somewhat fast road course, what kind of mental change is that going to be from this week to next?
If you're talking personally for me, it's one thing, but again, I'm at this point, I'm all for the league, and I want the league to be good. So I think with the league, it's going to be a lot of practice. We're going to put up a ton of practice sessions. We want guys that aren't typically studs in the ovals, but to come out and continue racing this league on road courses. So my theory is we've got the setup out there, we've got the track temperatures out there. Everybody can practice it, get ready, and then let's go have a good time. Now, me personally, I'm terrible at road courses, and I've got some new members I brought into this league, and I'm excited about them. I got Brett Beasley's racing full time now, and then we have Jeffrey Bogan, and then of course Voodoo Racing. I mean, we just changed name brands and all that. Dude, I'm just so excited about it. I mean, literally, it was like Christmas Eve, 5 o'clock tonight. I was sitting there and I was texting the guys. I was like, man, it's like I'm a 5-year-old at Christmas Eve. I'm so excited about this league to get started. And I think the material we put out was just amazing.
All right, so you got your shout outs in. We'll let you go and celebrate now. Congratulations,
right. Hey,
Timothy
appreciate
Bates.
You guys. Yes, man. Thanks, Sam.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, bud.
Thank you. Timothy Bates, your first ever Sim Racers Edge winner. Congratulations. As we now move on, I believe, Tony, you have Michael Sturgill. Tony?
Mike Sturgill, the king of saving fuel. What a finish, sir.
Yep.
Don't sound so enthused. Uh, how on earth did you do 43 laps on a single tank of fuel?
Lots and lots of saving, and cautions helped. If it would have went green from that final stop, I would have had to come in. But I got just enough cautions to stay out, pop the map up to 8, and ride around in 6th.
Well, you may have just been riding around in 6, and I use that term loosely, but 1/10,000th of a second, basically a coat of paint, is what that race finish was. And there'll be a picture going up shortly on the Facebook page and the Twitter page. Coming into the final lap or two, did you know you had it? Did you think you had it?
I thought I had it. No one could ever get by me at the stripe. Any of the laps really. So, and then coming to the stripe, I could still see the Rivers car in my mirror, so I thought I had it. But nope. I don't know where they judged the start finish line from, but I don't know. Frustrating.
Well, changing gears literally, next week we go to one of the most fabled road racing tracks in North America, Road America. Your thoughts going into the first road race of the season?
Oh, I'm not really all that great at road courses, so if I finish, it'll be a good day.
Well, Mike, I know it wasn't the finish you were hoping for, but heck of a way to kick off the inaugural season of the Sim Racers Edge IndyCar Series.
Thank you.
Anybody you want to thank before we let you go, sir?
All the admins, the league on. It's nice to, it's nice to race here. You guys for broadcasting it, of course, and I think that's really it. Shout out to Sam for giving me a super clean looking car to race too.
All right. Well, Mike, it's been way too long since we've been able to interview you after an IndyCar race. Looking forward to the rest of the season, sir.
For sure. Thank you, guys.
So that was second place, Michael Sturgill, and unfortunately, when you have a close finish like that, there's always the elated side in Timothy Bates, and then there's always the side that came up just short, and you saw that just in these last two interviews. But third place, coming in not to be outdone, finishing 3/100ths of a second behind the front pair, Luis Gonzalez Nunez. What a run and what a race you had tonight.
Yeah, I it's 150 laps, so I thought I want to start on the last, on the last. So every time at the last. So basically, the last 50 laps, I thought like, okay, I need to push for the front. But my car is I have a little bit of damage, so I use my fast repair on the last 20 laps to go. So that's why the car is pushed more hard. So I think so. The car is lost like 20 kilometers maybe, or 10. So it's like in 0.5 seconds. The car didn't get the draft. So yeah, I handle it. I handle it a lot. The try to don't correct each other. So I correct. Actually, I correct. I hit Timothy in one lap. So I don't remember which lap is. So I hit him. He's going up, and after I get like a 12 incident. So it's like. For one for Timothy, and the now two is one for jumping the car is for my hair, and another one is for somebody didn't break one on my back. So it's actually I get 50 seconds for repair on my back back wing. So yeah, But this is really funny. I get like a 25 positions for the third place, so really very funny. Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, you pretty much ran through all my follow-up questions for the race. So we'll look forward to Road America next week. What is your confidence level going into the first road course of the season, a track like Road America?
Oof, I run Road America in Indycar Racing Series and official series and in a racing. I hate that circuit, but yeah, there is. So I need to try to practice more. I need to catch the point break, and that's all. But I hate. I prefer something Watkins Glen or something like Indy Road, Indianapolis Road. But Road America is one of the most difficult for me, and it's really tough for me. I tried to, for example, for 3 years, try to understand the circuit, but nah, I can't. But I will try to bet my best so on that day.
All right. So anyone you want to thank before we let you go and celebrate your podium finish?
I want to say thank you, my team. Of course, my team is everybody is asleep now because it's very late in Spain. My team, yeah, my family is. I didn't know. I didn't realize this. Today is streaming. So because I really my mind is another way. So my mom every time saw my race on the streaming. So today he didn't see. She didn't watch nothing. So I say thank you for her. So for sure, maybe you wanna see the the race after. So of course it's very very long, but I say thank you my mom and everybody. I say thank you for all you for support for this new league, and thank you so much for and everybody. Thank you so much for this clean race, very very clean race. I didn't realize like I thought it was gonna be 2 hours or more at the race. So really thank you for everybody for this clean race. Yeah.
All right. Your third place finisher, Luis Gonzalez Nunez. Congratulations, bud.
Thank you so much. See you on Road America.
See you next week as well. So, Tony, if we thought the first 149 laps of this race were wild and entertaining, boy, they saved the best for last tonight, didn't they?
If you would have told me we were going to have a photo finish, I would have believed you after lap 5. But the fact is, I looked at the photo finish, and I can't tell who won. So thank God for electronic timing and scoring. What a finish! I mean, yes, we saw a lot of carnage. Nate Seifker had a thank God this is a simulator moment. Raul Alvarez had one on the closing lap. Garrett Maines got relegated back to 8th because just oops. And we're waiting to hear from Race Control to find out the full story behind what happened with Mark McFadden, but I don't know what happened there, and I don't really need to know right now, but it's going to make things interesting moving forward. Oh, we hit the incident limit. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what happened with McFadden there. But yeah, definitely moving forward. If that's what they do on an oval, I can't wait to see what's going to happen on a road course, because there's some road course ringers that finished quite well at this oval.
Yeah, and as per usual, you see a lot of the big names, the big name players like a Nate Seifker up at the front. Pardon me. Up at the front here come the end of this race, but it's a lot of guys you don't really see. Guys hanging out in the midfield or the back of the pack, like a Luis Gonzalez Nunez, who finish up at the front and manage to get a good finish out of these races. purely by surviving, and it just makes for a fun finishing result.
Exactly, and we've got. I'm looking at the top 10 right now, and there's a lot of names that I haven't been able to say in quite a while. Mike Sturgill, I haven't been able to say in a while. Chris Samard, I haven't been able to say in a while. Garrett Maines, I haven't been able to say in second or forever because it's been quite a few seasons since I've been able to announce his name in a Wednesday night IndyCar broadcast. So it's good to see some of these guys coming back into the swing of things. And, you're right. The guys that we haven't seen before because they've been a little on the frightened side, they're let it all hang out. Paul Crumry, top 5. Last time Paul Crumry had a top 5 was a while back, and it's good to see him up there again, too.
Yeah, without a doubt. And also, Timothy Bates set a couple of records tonight. Not only the first win in Sim Racer's Edge, the closest win in the history of Sim Racer's Edge, but also most positions gained to win. Timothy Bates started in 31st position after not setting a time in qualifying. Last car on the grid, stone dead last, up 30 positions for the race win.
Yeah, that's nothing short of impressive. And that shows you what type of consistent driver Tim Bates can be. We've seen Tim win before, but we've also seen Tim get caught up in dumpster fires before too. So the people that normally get caught up in other people's messes were able to survive them tonight. Tim Bates being one of them, Mike Sturgill being one of them, Luis Gonzalez Nunez being one of them, Paul Crumry being one of them, Chris Samard being one of them, Butch Davis. Your top 6, normally, those are the guys that we go, oh, well, they got caught up in XYZ and they're out. And, to see those 6 guys up there is awesome.
Without a doubt. And while we just went through the top 6, let's run through the rest of the grid order finishing here tonight. Timothy Bates, it's the first win for Sim Racer's Edge. Congratulations to him. Michael Sturgill finishing 1/10,000th of a second in second place. Luis Gonzalez Nunez rounds out the podium. Paul Crumry, Chris Simard round out the top 5. Butch Davis, Brett Beasley, Garrett Maines, Dylan Moskowitz, and Dan Brazington coming home in 10th and rounding out the top 10. Jeffrey Roulette, another new name we haven't seen in quite some time, coming home in P11. Jeff Lupker coming home in 12th. Carl Burke, 13th. Johnny Antonucci, 14th. Kevin O'Brien rounds out the top 15. Raul Alvarez in 16th. Nate Siefker, after that incident on the back straightaway on the last lap, coming home the last car on the lead lap in the 17th position. Tony.
Tony Phillips coming home in 18th. Mark McFadden hitting the... Actually, that's not going to be right because he got the Dairy Queen Award. So that would put Jeffrey Bogan in 19th, Chris Walker in 20th, Charles Woods in 21st, 22nd going to Ronnie Osmer, 23rd to
Yari Brupatcher.
Thank you. I knew I was going to butcher that one. 24th going to Jeff Hollings, with Karen Brigelli in 26th, 25th going to Karen Brigelli, 26th going to Joe Morganti, 27th going to Ernie Ludwig, 28th going to Mark Walker, 29th to Chris Boyles, and then I believe Bob Lacavara is going to be scored in 30th, with Mark McFadden being scored in 31st because he did actually participate in the race portion of the event. Michael Jeans bowing out after the hot lap session.
Yeah, and so after an unbelievably wild night here at Fontana. A wonderful, wonderful, wonderful debut for Sim Racer's Edge race, a series that we have been really, really, really anticipating since we heard it was going to be since it was going to be coming out a couple of weeks ago. We thank everyone who showed support for this new league here tonight. We thank everyone who showed up to run the first race for this series and for putting on one heck of a show here tonight at Fontana. But that will do it for us here in the Golden State. For my broadcast partner, Tony Trapasso, I'm Frank Marchese. Thank you very much for watching. Sam Cooper Bennett, our producer, after our little issue at the beginning of the night. We thank you very much for joining us here tonight, and we will see you all next week from Road America right here on ESBN.